Welcome to Bricks and Banter, the cornerstone of exceptional podcasts. Get ready to dive into the world of real estate with Dylan and Scott on the Bricks and Banter podcast.
Welcome to the Bricks and Banter podcast. Dylan's not with us today, but we have a special guest, Paul Rayment. Paul, how are you doing today?
Great, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been good. So this one is going to be our real estate pet peeves and non-alcoholic beer. Kind of go hand in hand. So pet peeves will cause you to drink. So it is an interesting little topic here. So you made a good suggestion before we got started about going through our pet peeve and then trying one of these beers.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. All right. So you're the guest. I'm going to let you go first on the first pet peeve that drives you absolutely nuts in this industry.
All right. Let's start off the first one with agents that list homes for $1.
What? Oh, yes. The famous $1 listing. So what is it about that drives you absolutely nuts?
Well, I don't think you're really doing the seller any good service by doing that way. I don't think you're really providing any information or guidance to any of the buyers out there as well. Mm-hmm. And frankly, what boggles my mind is why agents do it. Is it because they just have absolutely no clue of what the actual market value is? I don't know.
Yeah, I've read disclaimers on them that it is, I think, a placeholder. But and again, even under that description, I don't understand what a placeholder is.
I don't either.
Because I've seen it on properties that should be $2 million.
Yes.
At least they look like a $2 million property.
Yep.
And I've seen them on properties that probably look like about $500,000. Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay. So how do you get to so you're representing a buyer. How would you deal with that? Like, how do you get to the value? Do you just, here's an offer? Or is it just?
Well, fortunately, I would say that probably 3 listings have come up $1 and they've come within the parameters that my client is actually looking for. Mm-hmm. And all of my buyers have totally eliminated it and said either the agent or the seller is playing games and we just don't want to participate.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see it driving a buyer absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Because if I can't even explain the process to it, how are they supposed to understand that?
Yeah, I think it's an absolute waste of time, and I don't think that the listing agent is truly representing the seller.
So, okay, so a couple of questions for you. Should you be allowed to do it? And the second question is, how do you stop them from doing it?
I really don't think either of those really can be stopped. If someone, how does an industry turn around to a seller and control what price they list the property at?
Yeah.
Right. I don't think it's the industry itself, the boards or the rules. I think it boils down to realistically the common sense and the professionalism from the agent themselves.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, frankly, in the last 7 years, I would say that the industry as a whole, I think has got a lot of bad press from, properties being listed $200,000 under market value.
Yeah.
And I think that's just upset so many people, especially buyers, as to the process, right? Yeah. I think it's just made the industry, tarnished.
Yeah.
And so, this is just another gimmick.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, trying to be as professional as possible, I don't think gimmicks are really needed in our industry.
No, I don't think so. Because there's enough information out there that you should be able to gather and glean all the stuff that you need in order to price a home properly. Right. Like, yeah. I mean, I came into the industry probably halfway through your career, but we were always taught there's 3 ways to come up with value for a property. Cost per square foot. That's one. the cost of the land, added to the cost per square foot. Okay, you're getting close. And then you've got like an insurance replacement value, from an insurance perspective, a house burns down, or we don't have them here, but hurricanes.
Yep.
Right. So there would be an appraised value of a property.
Right.
Right. And then, if you've got an income generating property, then again, how much is the property making? How much is it worth? Project it out. So we definitely have the ways to make valuations.
For sure.
Like proper. So that would be, that's the one that drives me nuts. Cause now when I open up the app, I see it more often.
Yes.
Right. Like you open it up and if you don't put any parameters in there, all the dollar listings come up, and it used to be a handful.
Yep.
Now it's, how many do you think?
Fortunately, I've only seen 3.
Yeah.
3 that have actually come in the search parameters that I've got for various buyers. So it hasn't happened a lot. One was a 1.5 or $1.7 million cottage. One was a cottage that the agent was actually the seller.
Ooh.
And they listed for $1. Another was a country property. So I've only seen 3 that have actually come to my attention. Yeah. But I did go on there the other day and just search anywhere between $1 and $10. And they're across the GTA. There's multiple.
Yeah. So this is your big pet peeve, and definitely.
Like realistically, as an agent, do your job.
Yeah.
Right. Do your job. Represent your seller properly, and be fair to buyers. At least give buyers a guidance. Right. A guidance to say, hey, listen, this is an $800,000 home. So list it around $800,000, and don't list it at $1. Right? Yeah. Give people some guidance. Yeah. Right. And once again, I don't know why people do it. Whether it's they don't know how to do a CMA, or they just want to make a mockery. I honestly don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes it very frustrating, because then obviously your buyer is going to come back to you and go, well, what's it worth? Now you have to do all the work to establish value.
Yeah, but I don't, I mean, we do that anyway, right? Yeah. I mean, anytime a buyer says, I want to buy the property, what's it worth? We run our own CMA, and we send all the comparable listings to the buyers. But when you phone after you do that and you phone the agent and you say to the agent, okay, what's it actually worth? What's your CMA? When you get a response, well, I'm not telling you, you've got to work it out yourself.
Yeah.
Once again, it's, I think most of the time that I've seen, it seems to be more incompetence than anything else.
Yeah.
Or laziness.
Yeah. I've got my opinion.
So what's your opinion then?
My opinion is it's lazy. That's mine. I don't think anybody that comes into this and goes through the processes of getting the education to do this, and being an educated business person probably before you came into this, because pretty much, I mean, most agents have come from some other business, right? Like there's very few. I think you'd probably fall into the category that didn't have 3 other careers before you came into real estate. True. Right? So you've had that insight for, what is it, 34, 35 years now?
Yeah, 36 now.
30, yep. And so this is all you've done. You would be a true professional, right, at doing this, right? You haven't done anything else. You didn't come from like where I did in the print and graphic communications or advertising or marketing industry. Worthy careers to have, but most people have come into this from somewhere else. So you've got some business sense. You've got some business savvy coming into this.
Well, yeah, but I also think even if you are almost straight out of university, you still have a university degree. So you do have education.
Yeah.
And not only education, but also common sense. Well, hopefully you'll have common sense, right? And so when you get into this business and they teach you multiple ways that you can come up with market value, you have to pick the process which is going to give you the most accurate market value.
Yeah.
And after you've done your homework and you come up with market value, then why, like, what is the common sense? What is the process? What is the reason why agents list for $1. It's a shame we're not kind of doing this live and people can't phone in and go, hey, I work for this real estate company. I do this all the time. And here's my reasons.
Yeah.
I'd like to know the reasons because, I think it'd be a good idea to argue those reasons.
Yeah. I don't think we'd get a word in edgewise for the podcast because it would probably be lit up. Yeah. And you and I would probably get lit up as well. Because I think anytime you take a dissenting view to somebody else's, the reasons why they do it, there's sometimes it's very adversarial.
For sure.
It's not based on logic. It's just like, well, you think I'm an idiot? So it becomes this confrontation. It doesn't become a justification as to why you're doing something.
Or their answer is because. End of sentence, period, exclamation mark,
full
whatever
stop.
You want to say, right? It's like, because. That's why I do
just
it.
Because.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. So
you can't argue that.
No, and I get that. And I think a little sidebar to this is you and I were talking about this before we came on the air. One of the other agents in the office here said the scenario of pricing it somewhere, but not holding offers and just expecting a completely different number altogether. Yeah. Right. And I mean, that would be one of my pet peeves. I don't want to go down that road, but it's like, why are you doing this? Like why are you, in essence, tormenting buyers?
Yep.
Because a buyer all of a sudden says, hey, that's the area I would like to live in. Everything else I'm looking at seems to be so much more expensive. I can go and buy this one.
For $1.
Well, no. Okay, maybe not $1, but the scenario we had was it's priced $100,000 below market value, right? So if all other homes in the area are selling for $705 or $800, let's say it's $800 or $810, $805, and the price sticker on the home is $699, and then you go in and you submit an offer. Are you holding offers? No, we're not. Okay. Any other information I need to know? No, I don't. No. Okay, great. House is $699. Client says, okay, I want to submit an offer. Perfect. We'll write up the offer at $695. It's a great place, great location. Don't want to mess around. Just get the house. Submit the offer going, yeah, my client's not going to accept it. I'm sorry. Why not? Well, they're expecting $800. What?
Yeah. But I think, just to make a point on that, if we start discussing homes that are listing for 100 or 150,000 under market value, mm-hmm. which has happened the first 5 of the last 7 years, yes. I think we'd be here for a long time.
Yeah. But see, that's the one where I kind of understand the process if it's protracted out properly.
Yes.
So if someone says to me, look, I've priced the home to get the most number of eyes on the property, to get the most amount of engagement. We know that the house is probably worth somewhere in the area of X, whatever that is. So we've priced it at this number here. And if I go ahead and do my research and I tell my clients, and then, you know what? They're not far off. We're just going to have to be prepared. If this is the one that suits your needs, submit your best offer. Don't get tied up in all the other details.
Yeah, don't get tied up in the list price.
Right. Say that every other house on this street has sold between, let's just call it 745 and 765. There's your window.
Yep.
You can operate within there.
Yep.
And I can tell you 765, nice house, new kitchen, new windows, new roof, everything else. 745, no new kitchen, no garage, carport. Right. Okay. Yep. Make your decision based on that. Okay. Right. Everybody has the information they have available to them to make that decision. Don't just throw out a number and go $699. Well, what are you expecting?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere around 8. Okay. Somewhere around 8, 8, over 8, under 8. Like, stop the guessing game.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I had a scenario where I went with a client. Now, I won't belabor the point, but it was a great condo, great deal. Right. And we're like, wow, this thing hasn't sold yet. And everything else seems to be priced around the same size. We went to see it. It's a much larger penthouse unit. And he goes, well, I want to put an offer in. He goes, I'll put in at full asking price. And I'm like, okay, great. We put it in. I get the phone call back. No, he's not going to accept it. Why? well, you should probably do your own CMA and come up with a price and let us know. I'm like, are you serious? So I didn't go back and tell my client intentionally to annoy him, but he was annoyed.
Yeah. And that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go to one other pet peeve quickly. We'll just touch on that. Right. But an extension of that is when an agent lists a home at $699 and says, we're holding off offers to whatever date.
Yeah.
However, we will look at a preemptive offer, right?
Yeah.
So for me, when they say we will look at a preemptive offer, when I do that with my seller, I say to my seller, hypothetically, your home's worth $800.
Yeah.
We'll list it at $700, right? We'll hold off offers. We're doing this for marketing reasons, right? To try and expose it, as you say, most number of eyes. But if we do get an early offer, what price would you accept? Right? Let's set the rules now, so we're not wasting people's time. Okay. And my seller will turn around and say, well, you know what, if we do wait 5 days, this no offers for 3 weeks and 4 weeks. That's just being stupid as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But if you're holding off for 5 days, if we're not waiting for 5 days and the market value is 8, most people are more concerned about losing the opportunity than the opportunity of gain.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where human nature is. And so if they turn around and say, well, we may get 810, 820, 830 with 10, 15 offers. So if I'm going to accept an early offer, my bottom line for a preemptive is 840. Let's just use that as a hypothetical.
Okay. Yep.
Now we got a game plan. Now we've got an idea of where you stand. Okay. And then I say to my seller, are you giving me permission to let people know if they contact me what the value of your preemptive needs to be?
Yeah.
Right. Or do I say it needs to start with an 8? Like, what do you want me to, because I want to know the game plan. I want to know the roadmap.
Right.
And when my seller says, okay, I will accept 835 as a preemptive. That's my rule. Then when an agent phones me, I know what I've done.
Yeah.
If I phone an agent and they say, we'll look at a preemptive, and I say, what's the preemptive? What do you need? They'll go, oh, I have no idea. Well, why don't you know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what my client accepted. Well, why don't you ask?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you ask so you know and I know, so we're not wasting time. If we don't want to wait and we've got to pay the purchase now price, right? Like you have to do online and the way, eBay and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
If you want to do it now, then give me that price.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But when agents go, I don't know, I haven't even spoke to my client.
Yeah.
Now you just, once again, now we're going back to playing games again.
Yeah. Yeah. You're wasting everybody's time.
Yeah.
Right. You've left a key component out of, like you said, like your roadmap on how to get to a successful transaction that closes.
Yeah.
Right. Because at the end of the day, that's the key. Right.
Yes, it is.
In the 16 years that I've done this, all the other things don't matter. A successful close is the goal.
And ideally, a happy buyer and a happy seller.
Right.
Right.
The opportunity to negotiate in, without any undue stress. Right. That's the general rule in real estate, right? With any
and in good faith.
Yeah. And in good faith. Right. So any undue stress. So it's just, that's the one that I would say that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Silly.
It just seems like we waste so much time going through this process, and it's like days, evenings, weekends are just shot. And it's not us. I mean, we've chosen this profession.
Yep.
I've chosen to work Saturday night, Sunday morning, Tuesday afternoon, whenever that is, to help our clients achieve their goals.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
Comes with the territory.
Yes, it does.
But when you've spent all day Friday, all day Saturday, and you're preparing that offer for Sunday, and you go in there and it's like, nah, this is, not going to happen.
Yep. and they can't give you a number.
Yeah.
Right. Which is even more frustrating.
Yeah.
Like we've gone through all the process.
Mm-hmm.
We've shown it. We've done our CMA. We've done a number. We've done an offer that is based on that, which we believe is fair. Here's your offer, and you're not even going to respond to it.
No.
It's making a mockery of our industry.
Yeah. Because is there not a component out there that if you receive an offer as the listing agent, unless you have written instructions and authority from your seller, are you not supposed to present?
You have to.
Every offer
have to
that you've received,
even if it's for $1.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. We are obligated to present every single offer.
Yeah. Yeah. I always thought there was a rule in there that if you had provided all the components to what would be a successful offer, is that there had to be some accountability on that listing agent. Is there no accountability to the listing agent saying, hey, look, I brought you an offer. I brought you an offer where there was over ask, right? You're shooting us down. Is there not some sort of obligation on the listing agent? I always thought there was a rule about that.
So when I first got in the industry in 1989, I believe, and I don't know whether this was residential or commercial. I can't remember which. I have a feeling that it was on the commercial side, that there was a clause in the listing agreement that the seller side signed saying that they agreed to pay the cooperating broker for a procurement of an offer.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I don't know if that's still around. I don't know. I don't believe that clause is there.
Yeah,
but I believe that if all of the information stated in the listing agreement you complied with, like asking price, closing date, and all the other, regular terms, I believe that the cooperating broker had the right to commission.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was. It was the right to be paid for your time that was in there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was, but you're probably right. It probably doesn't exist anymore.
No. Because there'll be a lot of dollar offers that people are trying to collect, Give me my 6 cents.
Yeah. give me my nickel. Right.
Oh,
all right. So let's get into this here, because we both brought in some non-alcoholic beer to try today.
Yeah. And the reason why, just to keep people listening for the first time, the reason why we decided to do this is because the last time I did a podcast with you, we bought in a bunch of craft beer.
Yes.
And we reviewed them. And so, there's a huge trend right now in non-alcoholic beer, huge. Yeah. And so this is the reason why we did it. So our first one is going to be Peroni.
Okay.
Peroni 00. Now I like the regular Peroni beer. It's from Italy. It's nice beer. It's very similar to Moretti. But this is the non-alcoholic. So
all right. So let's hear it. Give it a try.
This is actually one of my favorites.
Okay. All right. And for everybody out there, I'm not a big beer drinker. However, a week and a half ago, I made a little bit of a vow that I was going to dial it back, the drinking.
Oh, that's right. And this was my suggestion, that instead of doing more craft beer to keep you happy, I would bring non-alcoholic beer in so we could test and review it.
Right. So I think it's 9 days. I went 6 days with no alcohol at all.
Good for you.
Didn't change my attitude, didn't change anything, didn't feel like I needed it. Here's the weird thing. So I went what did it take? Was it 6 days? 7th day, I said, you know what? I'm going to have a drink with dinner. Felt like crap.
You mean while you were drinking it, or
no,
the day after?
Afterward. That might have been the steak I made, but not the wine or the beer. But it was weird to have that first drink after not having anything. Like just cold turkey just stopped. On a Saturday afternoon evening, I just said, that's it. No, I want to see what no drinking does for me. So then it was like, yeah, it felt like crap. And then I went out to an event and I had 2 drinks, and it was very moderate over the entire evening. Right. So not just cracking beers and pounding them back and having scotch and sodas or whatever it is that you're drinking. And it was fine. But it's that realization is that I don't need it.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't need it. I don't have to, because I think that's where I felt like I was slipping into, right. I would just go home and have a drink. It became habit. And it was like, this can't be good. Right. Not all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot of people are getting away from alcohol, right? And so more and more and more companies, when you get the likes of Guinness bringing in zero beer or zero stout, you know that non-alcoholic is hitting a major part of the market now.
Yeah, and we notice it more in social functions that we go to.
Yeah.
Like we do curl a lot, and curling has always been associated with the winner buys the losers a drink, and then the losers buy the winners a drink, and it's kind of all counterintuitive because everybody ends up buying drinks for everybody at the end of the night anyways. Yeah. But we do see a more and more people that will say, I'm having one and water for the rest of the evening, or juice or whatever that is. But it's people still have that kind of stigma about it, right? It's like, oh, you're not having a drink? Why aren't you having a drink? Right?
Yeah. But now if you like I like the taste of beer.
All right.
I know you're a rum guy. I mean, I'm a rum guy too, but I like beer. And sometimes, there are situations where you either you don't want to have a beer or you shouldn't have a beer. Yeah. And so, we go to this and it's nice. So
all right. Okay. Let's give this a try then. All right. So for a non-beer guy, that would be, for me, that kind of tastes like a light beer. It's not heavy.
Yep.
But you still get that definite beer taste to it.
You got the flavor to it.
Yeah.
So it's not like a Coors Light that has basically zero flavor and some bubbles, right? It does. It gives this is
actually quite nice.
Lightish lager. It's nice and crisp.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have any problem with this. Yeah. Like I could, and you know where I found that it would get me is golfing. I'd always get to like the back 9, and it's been like, you're 3 beers deep at this point. And like the last 4 or 5 holes are just a mess. And not that the first 9 weren't a mess without the aid of alcohol, but it drove off a steep cliff.
Yeah. No, but this is, I mean, some of the beer, it actually lists it as 00. Some of it lists it as 0.2 percent. So
okay, so then what is the legal limit to be non-alcoholic or de-alcoholized?
That's a very good question.
I said it.
You did.
I got
it. That's a very good question.
Okay.
I actually don't know, but I have noticed that sometimes it says 0.2% or 0.01%. A lot of things are actually coming up with 0.0.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether they're rounding it off or not. I don't know.
I wonder if that's the same. It's the same brewing process, but they've managed to figure out how not to have alcohol in it. Right.
So you're asking a lot of questions that we probably should have done before the podcast, so we could educate people as well as ourselves.
Can we ask Siri?
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah. Because that tastes, you know what? I've had the occasional one, because when my dad was ill and he had dementia, he was still very much aware some days. And I know the people at the hospital said, absolutely not. There's no alcohol to be brought in here. And I said, well, what about like a de-alcoholized or something like that? That's something that looks like a beer that's going to, trick him. Not that I was trying to trick my dad, but when we would talk, we would sit there and talk for 2 hours.
Give him the ability to feel good about himself because he thinks he's drinking a beer.
Right. With his son on a porch at the hospital and right. And he was having a good time and nobody was the wiser.
Yep.
So I tried them there and he loved it.
Yeah.
Like the smile on his face when he had it was just, it gets me emotional, but it was really fun to sit there with him, because he was, he'd had his hospital food, which is awful, right? And I would bring him in maple cookies and stuff like that, and he'd have maple cookies, and he'd have his beer and stuff like that, and people would take it, and the nurses would get like angry, right? They're like, don't bring him in stuff, because other residents take it and steal it on him. I said, fine.
Yeah.
So they steal it. I'll bring more.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, yeah, but we don't want you to bring more. I was like, what's the negative? What's the downside? So the other residents or the other patients, are they getting sick from having maple cookies and no? Then what's the problem?
Yeah.
So they took my dad's cookies. Bring more. Right? Tell me they bring more. And that's what I did. So anyways, that was my first time of getting in there, but the smile on his face to have a beer on a porch, on the balcony, overlooking Lake Ontario, he was in his element.
There you go.
Right. So that's where I first got introduced to it. So
yeah. And I think for people that have to medically have to stop drinking alcohol beer, but they still love the taste, this is a great substitute, and it still makes you feel good. Mentally, because you think you're actually drinking beer, but you're not. Yeah. So for those, this is a good, and this is another reason why we're doing this is so people can, people that want to get into this, want to get a little bit of feedback and review on some of these. So, if you listen to this.
So that's a Peroni.
This is a Peroni.
Okay. All right. That was good. I could be on board with that entirely.
Okay.
Right. So that is, sitting by the pool. I know I got to work later. I can't be drinking. I can't be 3 beers deep and then going out to work. You can go for a swim. You can take the boat out. You can do whatever. I got to go to work in 2 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Too many bubbles. That's a lot of bubbles.
Okay. So it is carbonated. All right. We know that much.
All right. So this is my pet peeve. So this isn't a big pet peeve of mine. Sorry. It's not probably going to sound like a big pet peeve, but it is something that drives me nuts. Okay. So we have all this technology out there, right? We can take all kinds of photos. We can take all kinds of videos. We can communicate. We can get Google Drives. We can have stuff added to listings. There is QR codes are making a big comeback now for information, property specific websites. And I get excited about a property and I'll look up the listing and I'll say, I'm just going to give this agent a quick call. How many agents don't have one of these?
Oh.
How many?
You're talking about a phone. You're talking about the secret agents.
How many don't have one of these?
Or don't post the phone number.
That is my point.
Yes.
That drives me nuts. And I think you're doing a tremendous disservice to your seller or to your buyer and not being available. And I get kind of sometimes the reasons why. They're like, I don't want to be called Sunday night at 9:00 at night. Well, I don't want to be called at this time. Then don't answer your phone.
Yeah.
Let it go to voicemail. Send me a quick text. Hey, I'm out of function. Call me in 2 hours. Great.
Yep.
I can take that back.
Yeah.
Because I've had it where I've liked a property. My clients have liked a property and I go out and I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's do something. Let's put an offer in. This is great. Call the agent. No answer. Have them paged. No answer. Right. Send a text. No answer whatsoever. Right. And that's even if you can find the cell phone after you've dug through someone's social media profile and gone through the whole rigmarole to get there. And then
I'll give you a tip on that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Give you a great tip. Okay. Go ahead and continue.
So I finally get a hold of this person. They finally call me back. And it's like, oh yeah, no, we had a offer registered earlier today. So we dealt with it. I'm like, what? So did you not get my pages? Yeah, I saw something come through, but yeah, we were, I'm like, how do you not communicate? Like in this day and age today, how do you not communicate? Why is this not your primary number? You are an independent contractor.
Yep.
Right? You're representing clients. You have a fiduciary duty that goes with that, representing your clients. I think
your phone number should be listed the same as your name.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not an option field.
Yeah.
Your listing doesn't go up unless, I've got a way to communicate with you.
Yeah. See, I call them secret agents, right? Because they're keeping their phone number secret.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a trick. Because before you would Google the person's name, the real estate company, and put cell phone next to it. Okay. And then you'd have to go through a whole bunch of searches because realtor.ca used to populate, or whatever, real estate company they work for, they would populate it too. Okay. But a lot of agents would still, once again, on those websites, keep it secret.
Yeah.
Even if an agent, which boggles my mind, even when an agent has their own website, they still don't list their cell number, which just, I don't really understand. But there is a little trick to it.
Okay.
And that's if you go on Broker Bay,
yes,
and you do a fictitious showing on one of your listings, you don't actually book the showing, but when you put the agent's name in, their cell number will actually come up.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I did not know that one.
I did not know that until about a month ago.
Wow.
Yes. So that's a quick way to search someone and get their phone number so you can call them.
Yeah.
But then, once again, we'll get back to part of your pet peeve where they don't answer their cell phone.
No.
And they don't return texts. No. They don't return calls.
No.
Yeah. Once again, I think that's down to being unprofessional.
Yeah.
And being incompetent, and also not representing your client.
Yeah.
As you say, you do have a fiduciary duty.
Yeah.
And realistically, how can you do that? How can you represent a client properly if you don't even answer your phone?
Yeah.
Because at the other end of that phone call could be a buyer who wants to buy your listing.
Yeah.
And you're ignoring them.
Yeah.
So good pet peeve though.
Yeah. It's just one of those ones where it just drives me absolutely nuts. Like I didn't even think about it when I would put my listings up, or I would, put it on a website or wherever it was. That number went up right away.
And for the non-agents who are listening to this, buyers and sellers, on the listing, there actually is a specific location that agents are supposed to put their cell number.
Yeah.
But a lot of agents will duplicate their office number in that location.
Yeah.
So once again, they're
how bad does that look?
But that's what a lot of people do.
So for us here, it's area code like 905-43, whatever it is, 5, and then 8111, and the number right below it, 905-435-81111. I'm like, that's the office number.
Yep.
Right?
But that's what a lot of people do. So when buyers and sellers are out there previewing listings, and they're actually looking for an agent to represent their interest, whether you're a buyer or seller, have a look at those listings and see if the agent has actually listed their cell number. Right. Or go onto their website and see if there's a cell number that's prominent in the top banner to go, if you need me, you can get hold of me right here, right now. Yeah. Right? Good tip.
And I would bet on anybody's social media feed that's out there, that's an agent that's doing any sort of level of social media, as advertising. Call me. This is my number. Call me. Right?
I'm accessible.
If you're trying to acquire business, you're answering that thing no matter what time it is.
Absolutely.
But yet if you've got a listing, no, I don't want to talk to my other colleagues in the industry who might bring me an offer. Yeah. It just drives me. Yeah, that's one of those ones. That's like, open another one. I'm getting really bothered here with this whole thing. And I don't know why that bothers me so much. It's just one of those things. That's mine. I brought that one in. We may regret this one.
Well, okay, then I'm going to let you read it then.
Yeah, because this is the first time.
I've never seen that before, and I do like Muskoka Brewery.
Muskoka Brewery. Lager with lime, Veer, and this is a non-alcoholic beer. So this is 0.5.
Oh, okay.
So that is even a little bit more. I wouldn't consider that a non-alcoholic beer. We're going to have to go back and check that. We're going to have to follow this up and put something in the comments.
Yes.
With regards to what is considered non-alcoholic or de-alcoholized.
We can use Siri or AI to see what answers.
Next to the microphone, away from the microphone.
I know there's something really cool about the sound of a beer opening.
Let's see this one. I don't like.
Oh, see, that's good. That was a great sound.
All right. Okay. So here we go.
And you know, it's really weird. I can't explain this, but why does a beer can opening sound totally different than a pop can opening, even though they both have carbonated liquid in it?
It's the size of the bubbles. See, if you say it with conviction, it's almost believable, right?
See,
it's the size of the bubbles.
Actually, you know, I'm surprised you actually haven't made a comment, because I'm sure some people, especially a lot of beer drinkers who are listening to this podcast, they would probably turn around and go, "Oh, you just committed a big no-no," and that's pouring a different beer into a glass that had a little bit of residual from another beer. So I'm going to give you some information from a brewmaster.
Okay.
One of my buddies, Jorge, he works for Budweiser in the States, travels all over the world checking on the Budweiser distilleries, literally all over the world.
Yeah.
I was in Florida this year playing in a soccer tournament with him. And we decided to go to a restaurant, have a meal with the team. And I said to him, "Okay, you're a professional brewmaster. I'm going to follow your guidance, and whatever beer that we're going to drink, you're going to select it." So we ordered this first beer, and we finished that. And when he went on to the second beer, the bartender poured us. There was 3 of us that were at the bar, and the bartender poured 3, and he handed her his glass to the bartender and said, "No, can you please use this?" And she said, "No, it's okay. I'll get you a fresh one." He said, "No, actually, I don't want a fresh one. I'd like you to use this, please." So she said, "Sure, okay," poured it in. So we're like, "Why would you do that?" And he said, "Because the glasses come out of the dishwasher. You're going to get a residual from dishwasher detergent or soap or whatever." And he said, when you have your first beer, the beer will rinse that glass. I mean, you're getting microns, but it will rinse the glass. He said, the best glass that you can have is one that's already been rinsed by beer. So for the rest of that night, we stuck to the same glass.
Wow.
So
pretty cool.
Okay, it wasn't chilled, it wasn't ice, it wasn't frosted. But the concept that it's not a fresh glass, it's already been rinsed, makes sense.
It does make sense.
Right? Because he said,
when you do think about it, it does make sense.
Yeah. So anyway, all those people out there going, "Oh, you just committed a real bad crime by pouring another beer in." Yeah.
No. Okay.
So let's try this one.
I'm really hesitant. This is a lager, and it's got lime. All right.
Ooh, I don't taste the lime.
Nope.
I can taste.
There's bubbles.
I can taste something.
That's not at all what I thought that was going to be.
If anything, actually tastes like rotten apples.
Okay, hold on. It's maybe not rotten apples here. Hold on. I gotta get a.
I'm going to stick to rotten apples, actually.
Yeah. Ooh.
So
there's a lot going on there.
Whew.
I may get a new glass.
That is. I would not consider that lime and lager. And I like.
There's a lot of fruitiness
I like
going on
Muskoka
there.
Brewery.
Yeah.
Their cream ale and their pale ale is actually very nice. This is a little dodgy. So we can't really pour it back in the can. So
no, you're gonna have to. Yeah.
Ooh, Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah. Okay. Actually, you know what? And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I hope he's not listening to this podcast. But there's a craft brewery up in Port Perry. No names. But they have one called No Regret, which is a really low alcohol.
Is that
content.
R-A-G?
No,
or R-E-G?
No. R-E-G. Yes, I know I have an articulation problem.
No. I was just bringing up a movie. The movie.
Oh.
What is it? We Are the Millers, where the guy had a tattoo on his chest. It said "No regrets," and it was R-A-G.
Yes. So we took it to the cottage, and there's like this No Regret beer. The comment around the fire was, well, the only regret we have was bringing this to the campfire. It was not good. Oh, it was not good. So I didn't even bring that one with me today. But
right. So, okay. Well, I'm glad. Thank you.
Anyway, so that one we can safely.
Yeah, let's put that one to the side and cross that one off the list.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
All right. So
next, pet peeve. You're up.
Okay. Let's go with agents that don't put room descriptions or room measurements on a listing.
Yeah.
Once again, explain that.
I can't. I have no.
Once again, is that laziness?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, definitely it is. And you know why I know it's laziness is because it's one of the least enjoyable things I do when I do a listing, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't like doing it. I put it off and I'm like, okay, because I want to make sure that if I'm putting the information in there, I am as robust as I can be, right? I want as much detail as they will allow me to put in that listing. Whew, that's a lot of bubbles.
That's a lot of rotten apples coming up.
I didn't get any on you, did I?
Clean up in aisle 5.
It's not an enjoyable thing to do. I get that it's not one of the glamorous parts of putting together a listing.
No, but I don't mind doing it. Do you have a laser measure?
I have a laser measure.
Okay.
And I also go to the extent as when we do photos, I do what's called, it used to be called Matterport. Now it's iGuide, and they do the flute. Wow.
This is non-alcoholic beer, by the way, just so you know.
It's not working out well for me. It does the room dimensions, the floor layout is where I was going with that. And it's pretty accurate, but I don't rely on it. I still rely on sometimes. I'll even bring the tape measure sometimes, and I'll tape out a room and I'll put the laser up and go, yeah, you know what? I'm within 1/4 of an inch, right? Baseboard in or out, I'm out by 1/4 of an inch. And if it's 1/4 inch, I'll lop it off and round down so that, we're not shortchanging anybody when we're doing that. But it's not a glamorous thing to do. Like it's not fun. You're going around and measuring.
No, but it doesn't matter how big a house is. I mean, to measure a house, you're looking at 5 minutes max.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not a big, whether you like doing it or not, it doesn't take up much time. So it's 100% is laziness.
Oh yeah, I know. And I know that, but I've never put up a listing without them. It's just one of those things where I know I don't enjoy doing it. Right.
Well,
and
I think it should be a
mandatory,
a mandatory rule.
Oh yeah, for sure it should.
That if there is a room, it's got to be listed and measured.
And the thing I like about the technology that we have available to us now is your photographer can be there. And if your photographer is all the same guy that does the room dimensions and the floor layout, they're getting everything, the foyer, everything, any open space, it's open. It's a 2nd story vaulted ceiling. There's nothing above it. I enjoy that. Take those floor plans and put them into as much of the listing as you can.
Yep.
Right. Because I think it's giving a buyer a really good representation of the property.
And you're representing the seller because you're giving more information that the buyer can use.
Exactly. Right. Yep. And if I'm measuring a room and there's a funny little alcove in there, I don't know if I've taken that alcove into consideration. Nobody knows that. No one knows that there's a 3x4 entranceway into that room. It adds to the layout of the room. That shows up on those floor plans.
Yep.
It's hard to describe that dimensionally when you're measuring a room. So I do get that.
True.
But at the same time, you still need to measure that room.
You still need to measure the room, and it should be on the listing.
Because it should be, I should know that all the bedrooms were a minimum of 125 square feet or 130 square feet, whatever that is.
Yep.
Right? Like I'm buying it. I know that if I'm buying a 3-bedroom house, those rooms need to be big. They can't be 8 by 8.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, I would totally agree.
So if we both agree that it is mostly laziness, let's jump into another pet peeve, because it's funny. A lot of times when you get one, you get the second one, and that is either no photos of the inside of the house, or once again, getting not only lazy, but getting cheap and not doing the service to your client again. And that's taking portrait photos with your cell phone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go one step, because realistically a cell phone, especially an iPhone or some of the Androids, do take very good photos.
Yeah.
But when you take it with your phone and your thumb or your finger isn't in the viewfinder, and you put the photos on the listing as a thumbnail. Like it's when you open up your laptop, the photo is not full screen. It's, 1 inch by a half inch.
Yeah. And it's got the black bands down the side.
Yeah. It's like, once again, it's you're cutting service out. You're lazy. And what seller, and this is another point for sellers listening, hopefully if you have your house on the market, hopefully you go online and you look at the photos to make sure they're good quality photos, not little 1-inch thumbnails, what no one can see anyway.
Yeah.
And people can see that you're taking a picture of a corner of a bedroom or corner of the living room, because that's all that agent has actually done for you.
Yeah.
So it's funny, because a lot of times the lack of measurements or room descriptions, and then really bad small photos, a lot of times come in hand.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely. And as good as the iPhone is, here is my test for the iPhone. You still have to understand photographic composition.
100%.
When you're taking a photo. And I'm no photographer. I'm no photographer. I'm not any way inclined that way. I source that out. There's a lot of people out there that are way better than I am. But I was at a furniture store and I said to my wife, I said, I'm going to send you a picture of a couch. I'm taking a picture of a basic couch and sending it to my wife, right? This is not a big deal. I sent it to her and she goes, well, I wouldn't buy that. I'm like, why not? I said, it's nice. It fits perfectly in our living room. She says, it's blue. I'm like, what do you mean it's blue? It's not blue. I said, it's charcoal gray. I mean, look at it. It's charcoal gray. And she's like, no, it's not. It's blue. So I went back and I looked at the photo and I'm standing there and I held the phone right next to it. Thing's blue. And the actual couch is gray.
Yeah.
So how many other things now are not being represented properly? If you're, click, 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 taking your photos and loading up 20 from here. Like we just did a beautiful shoot where you can see the outside of the window, right? You can see how green the trees are, right? And it's an accurate representation. And we just did an open house and people came through and said, wow, this looks just like the photos.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, in an iPhone, you can't adjust white balance from an iPhone. I don't believe you can.
You probably can, but I wouldn't have the skill set to do it.
But once again, we're looking at an industry where we're trying to be as professional as possible.
Yeah.
Why even bother taking a photo with your iPhone?
Yeah.
Because your seller is paying you a lot of money,
of course,
to market their property to your absolute best ability.
Yeah.
And if it means that you can't do it yourself, that you've got to hire people that we do, right? Or you just find other people that can actually
I don't clean houses.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we do for our clients is we have a cleaning service come in and clean for them.
Yep.
And they're always impressed that there's 4 people there cleaning their house. They're like, no, I keep a very clean house. I'm like, yeah, but we're just allowing you to focus on something else.
Yeah.
Like the crew's here just to clean. And the photographer's here to represent your house as best as we possibly can, right? So when people get there, they're not disappointed, they're not underwhelmed, and they're not overwhelmed by anything. It's an exact representation.
Yep.
What's wrong with doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
So, I mean, you've got to, but you know, this taking photos with your cell phone, especially the thumbnail, like, you know, I have seen listings where people have taken them with the cell phone, and they've done a good job, and they have actually, you know, they've run it through. Whether, you know, I talk Apple because, you know, that's what I have, but you run through, you know, all the different Photoshop apps that we have the ability to you know, enhance the photos to make sure the photos look good, and they're the right size that, you know, can illustrate exactly what is for sale and what you're trying to do for your client. But when an agent does thumbnails or nothing, like
the best one, I think, is when you get someone's thumbnail in the thumbnail.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, on that note, we're going to try another one.
Yeah. All right. This is your choice this time, because mine was awful. And it's
okay. This is
well, at least we're not going to be totally tanked by the end of this, which is good. No. So
this one here is another favorite.
Okay.
This is another one that we get quite often at my house, and this is Corona Zero.
Corona Zero. Yeah. So is this Corona is normally, what's the, oh no, it's Bud Light Lime. Does Corona make a lime? They stick a lime in a Corona.
Yes.
But they don't make a lime.
That is, I believe that's correct. I believe that's correct. I think Corona has, I believe they have three. I think they have the regular Corona, Corona Light, and they also have Corona Zero. So this is Corona Zero.
Okay. All right. I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. Oh.
So this is obviously a very light Mexican cerveza.
Well, that's up there with the Peroni.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. That's actually not too bad.
There's no bad apple aftertaste.
No. It doesn't have the same beer taste and flavor as the Peroni does.
No.
But I think that's just something that comes with Corona.
Correct.
It's coming from a guy who's not a beer aficionado.
Right.
Right? Yep. I'm not. No,
this is a very, very light, you know, drinking around the pool on the beach.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot of flavor. You're probably not gonna have one of these with a steak. Right. So
no,
it's just a very light drinking, crisp, you know, nice beer.
Out walking the dog.
There you go. Yeah.
That would be interesting. Right. Just walking down the street, drinking beer, and everybody thinks that you've got this guy going out, walking his dog, drinking a beer every day. It's not really beer.
No, it's funny because when I go for a motorcycle ride, my wife wants to come with me on the back.
Yeah.
When we go for lunch, because one thing I won't do is ride a motorcycle and drink beer or drink any alcohol.
Yeah.
So we always say to the waitress, we'll have one real Corona and one fake one, please.
And they get it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, and I think that's you make a very good point there too. It's not just about it's a health thing, which I agree. Like drinking constantly and drinking, you know, I don't know where the terminology becomes where you're, you know, quasi alcoholic or whether you're just you know, some people kind of say, well, I'm a social drinker and everything else, but you socially drink 7 days a week.
Just being social.
Yeah. And a glass of wine requires you to screw the top off of it.
Yeah.
And drink it. That's not a social drinker. You might have a problem. Right?
Well, actually, but at least those people will actually take the time to pour it into a glass instead of just drinking it directly from the bottle.
So no, but back to my point is like when you're out there, you have these options now to have kind of like what you're accustomed to doing, which is, like I said, going for a motorcycle ride, having a beer, but then not putting anybody else at risk, yourself, your wife, your family, or any other people on the road.
Yep.
And the same thing, you and I both snowmobile. So you don't want to be going out and ripping 3 or 4 beers and then getting on a sled and driving 110 kilometers an hour through the forest.
That's right. That's where these come in.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You still get that flavor. You still get that thing that you're, if we stop for lunch on the sled and we're having, a hamburger and, having a 0 beer.
Yeah.
It's part of the atmosphere. It's part of the the process.
Not as many bubbles in this one. You've noticed I haven't had to.
Yes.
Not as many bubbles.
Yeah. Yeah. And my shirt is dry.
Relatively dry. Did it dry?
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I like that one. All right. So I'm going to finish this off because I want to get into my other pet peeve that I have here. And I'm really slow at drinking. So give me 1 second here. All right. So here's my other pet peeve. So I don't know how you feel about agents that work in an area, like a given area. They're the neighborhood expert, right? And I get that. And that's something that I think used to be more relevant in the past, where you were the neighborhood guy, right? Like Paul Rayment may be, North Whitby's best agent because you live there, there, your kids went to school there, where all the different things are. I think that's changed over time because we're able to get more information. We travel more. We're outside of our areas. My pet peeve is when you travel a little bit further than maybe lots of bubbles, eh?
Bubbles.
When you travel a greater distance. Now, I'm not talking about going, from in our area here, Oshawa, Curtis, or, out to Newcastle or anything like that. I'm talking where you might go into cottage country, or you might end up in Barry's Bay, or you might end up in a longer distance away. The treatment that you get as an agent going from one area to another, right? And I've experienced this on both sides. I've tried to call other agents and get referrals, right? For my clients. Can you take them out? Can you show them this property? And I'll get the phone call back from my clients. It's like, how'd the showings go? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, the agent wasn't really into it. They didn't give us any information. They opened the door. They let us walk through. They locked the door and left. I'm like, what? What do you mean they opened the door and left? Right? So I'm like, okay, that's an unacceptable level of service.
Yep.
So then I say, okay, this isn't going to work. Look, I'm going to allocate a Friday afternoon to you. And I'm going to drive the 2 hours, the 2.5 hours. I'm going to do my research before. I'm going to find out about properties. I'm going to find out about the lake. I'm going to do everything I can, vacant land, whatever it is. And I'm going to come out and I'm going to show you the property and I'm going to do the best I can for you. Right? And then I get okay, why are you here? Well, I'm showing my clients some properties. Well, you don't know this area. Why don't you just refer it out? Well, I tried that.
Yeah.
And the experience wasn't so great.
Yep.
Right? Like they were really disappointed in the people that they were referred to. Okay, and maybe that's a little bit on me. I need to do a little bit more research. But these are people I've met in different times or different functions or trade shows and stuff like that where we get together. And I'm like, they don't want that experience. They want me, much as I would say that your clients, within reason, would want you to help them purchase a house. They're comfortable with you. They can talk openly with you. They can joke about a house. They can say, nah, this isn't the one for us. This isn't, So that is my biggest pet peeve, is the treatment that we get back from fellow colleagues when we make the effort to drive there, to drive to their area or to drive to an area. You kind of get treated like crap sometimes, right? And if you send your clients somewhere, they don't get the treatment that they've come to expect from dealing with someone. So it's maybe a smaller pet peeve, but it's like, aren't we supposed to work together? Like help one another out? Like if I'm bringing you an offer, what do you care?
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't get that.
And is that more in more of smaller communities?
It is much smaller communities.
So a long time ago, when the boards weren't interconnected like they are now,
mm-hmm.
I found that when you took listings not too far away from here, and this was 30 30, 35 years ago, you'd take a listing, and I used to get phone calls from agents saying, what are you doing listing in my town?
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to do that. Right. And it's like, you're only, 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
This isn't anywhere different, but they're like going, no, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing this, and you shouldn't be doing that. And I think there's a lot of potential jealousy that they may be in a smaller community, and we're taking a very small piece of their pie.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it's more small-mindedness.
Yeah.
Rather than just being a professional.
Yeah.
Once again, it comes down to that again.
Yeah. And I don't want to paint everybody that, lives in a smaller town, I don't care whether you're in Ontario or you're in Manitoba, BC, don't care. Really don't care. Right. But we are supposed to work together.
Yeah.
Right. Like the license does say Ontario.
Yep.
Does it not?
Yeah, it does.
Like, and with the amount of information that's out there, we can do a reasonably good job in educating our clients, right? With regards to an area. Hey, this is close to snowmobile trails. Hey, this is close to hunting. This is close to, maple syrup area, or this is close to, your hiking and kayaking, and it's the Madawaska Valley. So you can go kayaking and canoeing in here. This would be a great area to be. Right. I don't understand that mentality when you get that back in return. And it happens more frequently on the negative side than it does on the positive side. Right? Because I do have great relationships with people. I have two great agents in Ottawa that we work with. Right. Wouldn't hesitate for a second to send my clients there.
So I also find if we're putting that on the other side, we have a listing here in Whitby or Oshawa, and you have hypothetically a Brampton agent, bringing a buyer in, shows your property, submits an offer, right? Sometimes you'll find that during negotiations, it's a little bit of a education process for the agent who's out of town.
Yeah.
So they can understand that, you may be in a better part of Oshawa. You may be in a better part of Whitby, right? And so when they produce the comps that they are using, okay, because this happens quite often, and I'm not gonna pick specific subdivisions or locations. But I find that those out-of-town agents will use comps that are from different areas. It could be from the same town, but definitely different areas.
Yeah.
And there is a massive difference in value between one area and another. And you just have to educate those agents to say, you know what, these comps that you've used are not valid.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why.
Yeah.
And here are the comps that I've used, and here's the reason why. And they kind of go, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Okay, I understand that.
Yeah, it'd be the same as us going in and saying, hey, Scarborough is the same as Rosedale or Forest Hill. Yeah. Right? You're not going to go in and take a comparison from Scarborough. No disrespect to Scarborough, but your property values in Scarborough are nowhere near what they are in Forest Hill or Rosedale or Moore Heights or wherever it is that you're looking. But I think that also comes down to, helping and guide your colleagues too.
Oh, and that's what I'm saying.
Right. Like I'm in a rural area, right? So we occasionally get properties that are on well and septic. And it's been numerous times that you'll get an agent that's not familiar with well and septic. And they'll come in and they'll put an offer in. I'm like, do you guys want to put in a well and septic condition?
Yep.
What's that? Like, well, this is why you need it in there, because you may not get financing if the water test comes back and it's not good, right? Or, you get a well or a septic system that's not adequate for what your uses are. You're going to be extremely disappointed. Okay, thank you. Right? So you're able to help. So I think we just need to get along, and just respect one another when they venture out of their own area, they venture into somewhere else. the parameters are the same. Be respectful.
Yep.
Right. Be respectful, but at the same
Play
time,
nice in the sand.
right. Yeah. Dave used to say that all the time,
Yeah.
right? Play nice in the sandbox.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. But it's going in and it's just educating. That's that's been my whole premise in real estate since I've been there. If your clients have the most amount of information available to them, they'll make a good decision.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter where they are.
Yep.
Right. So lack of information, bad decisions.
There you go.
So anyway, so that's my pet peeve on
Okay.
that one. So are we even yet? No?
I don't know.
There's not enough beers on the counter.
All right.
All right. So now one thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to either break this into part 2 or hope that people stick around for another half hour.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? Why don't we do one more beer,
Okay.
and why don't we do one more pet peeve?
Okay.
How
All
does
right.
that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right. Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. So this is Collective Arts, Hazy Pale Ale.
Oh, okay.
So I do like Collective Arts. They
You do?
actually have one really nice beer, and it's got one of the nicest cans, actually. So this is more of well, it does say hazy, so this is more like looks like more like a wheat
cloud?
beer. It's a little cloudy.
This is not a Hogarden type of beer, is it?
Kind of.
Really?
Kind of. Yeah, I think that it.
I pulled that one out of thin air.
You got to like that one. Yes. Yeah. So
All right.
this could be grapefruity.
Grapefruity.
Yes.
Yeah, I could smell that just as I brought it up. That's not bad.
But it's fresh. There's
That's
no aftertaste.
Yeah. Boy, I seemed to catch the fruity ones, didn't I? Rotten or fresh.
Very fruity.
This isn't
I'm not gonna make any more
this isn't
comments
going
on
to
that.
go away anytime soon. Stay tuned for part 2.
Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, so anyway,
That's you know what? That's actually, I would definitely have that one again.
So rather than us, hang on a second. Okay. So there is also, I don't actually know who makes this, but there's also another non-alcoholic beer. I'm not going to open this, but we've had this a few times. It's called Partake.
Yes.
And it tastes very similar to this.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. And that's an IPA as well?
I wouldn't call it necessarily an IPA. There is a slight distinction between, a true IPA and just a pale ale. But this one has
lots of bubbles in this one, by the way.
Yeah. I'm so glad you only have one microphone on you.
Yeah. I'm leaning out to read this. I had no idea what was on that can. I didn't read any of it. I was like, all right, we're good.
But there you go. So no, that's
yeah.
That's actually quite nice.
That is nice. That's definitely a seasonal one though. To me, that's a seasonal beer.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
It certainly could be. Yeah. Yes. But it's actually got a kind of a nice flavor. If you don't like grapefruit, you will not like this.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's definitely got a grapefruit flavor.
Yep.
So next pet peeve.
Okay, so take it away with this one here.
How about
can we get all fired up about this one? I love getting fired up on the podcast.
So this one is probably agents that list properties and they don't actually list the style correctly. And I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Recently, we've had a lot of buyers in the price range of 1.5 story homes.
Okay.
And you'll find a lot of 1.5 story homes that agents are listing as 2 stories.
Why?
And because they just don't understand what the difference between a 1.5 story and a 2 story property is. And I'll give you a quick story.
Is it the first or second?
Yeah.
Oh God, that was bad.
Oh my. So anyway, I showed this listing that was listed as a 2-story, but obviously it was a 1.5 story. And the agent contacted me right after the showing to ask how the showing was, and I said, yeah, it's fine, but you've actually listed it as a 2-story, and it's actually a 1.5 story. And the difference between the two, for people out there that may not be aware, they both do have a second story on them. But the difference between a 2-story and 1.5 story is, if you look at the exterior wall on a 2-story, the exterior wall is a full height 8-foot wall.
8 foot, yeah.
And then your ceiling starts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
A 1.5 story, typically the outside sidewalls, they're vertical to about 3 to 4 feet, and then the roof line comes in.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people will tuck, their beds into that where the headboard is, because obviously the stand-up height is not there.
Yeah.
Okay?
So that would be your typical kind of dormer style window, right? That's the one that projects out of the roof line.
Yes.
Right.
Well, you can't. Yeah, you can. You can put a dormer window in any slanted roof, right? Yeah. But typically, it's the exterior wall. One is full height, which is 2-story, and one is less than full height, which is a 1.5 story.
Yes.
And so I was trying to explain this to an agent, and the agent was like, well, no, you go up a full flight of stairs to get to the second story. And I'm saying, no, it's the exterior wall, and that's why it's 1.5 story. Yeah. And they're like, well, you don't go up half a story in stairs to get up there. And it's like, yeah, okay, so let's just agree to disagree. Yeah. And
a half story would make your first story very low.
Yeah. So once again, the education process there, but it's frustrating. But my biggest frustration in terms of listing properties incorrectly, because obviously from the photo you can obviously see a difference between a 2-story and a 1.5 story, but the agents that don't understand the difference between a bungalow and a raised bungalow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of agents believe a raised bungalow is just a bungalow that's raised out of the ground and it has big windows in the basement.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is not the case.
No.
Right.
No.
So, and the reason why this is important is because if you have a client who needs a bungalow because of accessibility, they can't have a raised bungalow, because when you walk in the front door, they've got to go up 6 or 7 stairs to go up, or 6 or 7 stairs to go down.
And that's always typically a cramped area, I've found, in any raised bungalow.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
For sure it is. Right. And normally the front entrance closet is normally at the top of the stairs. Right.
Yeah. Which makes accessibility very difficult.
Yeah. But it's those stairs, right? Yeah. It's the stairs. So when you're looking for someone who, needs a 1-story home, it's frustrating when, even when you look at the picture, sometimes the pictures from the front of the house, because generally the front door on a raised bungalow will actually be between the 2 windows.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you can see that the front door is a little lower.
Yeah.
Right. But sometimes homes will have an enlarged front door and you really can't see from the photos. And the agent, because the agent hasn't used all the photos or taken photos properly, or even included any photos, you can't tell from that, right? So they're you make a phone call, you try and get the answers. The agent, once again, you can't find the agent's phone number, or they don't call you back. So you go and show the property, and when you walk in the front door, you realize that it's a raised bungalow and it's a total waste of time. Yeah,
this isn't gonna work. Hey, but that kind of circles back nicely to the part about the half story. If you only go up 6 flights of stairs, isn't that a half story? Sorry, I couldn't resist. As soon as you said it, I was like, there's your half story.
It's your half story. Yeah. So we're not going to have a 1-story home. We're going to have a half-story home.
Yeah. It's funny the different types of homes that you mentioned like that, where I have people who specifically look for, and I'm not one of those people. Like when we've moved, I'm like, it's got to be location. It's got to be this, it's got to be that. I've never really looked at the style. And yet I work with people who say, I can't live in a story and a half. It has to be a side split. It has to be a back split. I love back split homes. I don't like this style of home. And I never really put that much thought into it. You know, when I first started, I was kind of like, okay, that's affordable. I can buy that one. That's got enough bedrooms. Okay, that'll do. Right. But I never really got into that detail. And then when I did get into the industry, I really liked side splits and back splits. My only problem with side splits and back splits are everyone in my family, everyone hates them. So I will never live in one.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like them either.
Right. So they're like, nope, out, done, finished, never going to live in one of those. Right. So I was like, dang. All right. So that's off the list. So,
well, what also comes into play with different styles of homes, which kind of goes into another point on a pet peeve,
yes,
is when agents list the bedrooms as hypothetically a 3-bedroom home.
Yes.
And when you get in there, it's actually a 2+1.
Yes.
Because the one is in the basement.
Yeah, that's true. Right. Yeah. I've seen that.
And I actually had a conversation today. There was a 3-bedroom home. I looked at the photos. There's only 2 photos of bedrooms, which kind of confused me. I looked at the listing, and the listing listed 3 bedrooms, but one of them said basement. And so I called the agent to say, is it actually a 3-bedroom home or is it a 2+1? And he said, no, the basement bedroom does have a window.
Yeah.
And it does have an ensuite next to it. Yeah. So it's a legitimate bedroom. And I said to him, is it below grade though?
Yeah.
And the agent said, yes, it is. And it's like, okay, so the listing should have been 2+1, not 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And once again, this is important because if you have a client who's got 2 kids and needs 3 bedrooms on the main level, they're not going to be happy with 1 bedroom in the basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once again, it's listing stuff correctly.
Yeah.
So you can be upfront and honest and truthful to the buyers and to the agents in terms of what you actually have in your listing.
Yeah.
So it's saving people a lot of time if you do it properly.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, because I did show this type of home, and this is another one that gets messed up all the time. It's the bungaloft.
Yep.
The bungaloft gets messed up all the time, right? Because they'll mark it as 4 bedrooms. But what they fail to mention is that the primary bedroom is on the main floor. 2 or 3 bedrooms are in the bungaloft area, right? So it's, again, it's not a big detail, but it's one that you should clarify, right? It is a 4-bedroom home, but your primary, and if you've got a family going in there, again, that point, you don't want your kids up on the 2nd floor or half story or wherever that is, and the parents are all the way on the other side of the house in a primary bedroom that's on the main floor, right? It just doesn't work.
Well, it's funny you should bring up bungalow because I've seen agents list 1.5 stories with a seriously 1.5 story properties.
Yes.
That has a bedroom on the main floor and 2 bedrooms upstairs, and they've listed that 1.5 story as a bungalow.
What?
Yeah.
A bungalow.
Yep.
No, because
but this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like learn what styles are.
Yeah.
And make sure you're listing the property as a proper listing.
Yeah.
And don't get them confused.
Yeah.
Right? Just if you don't know, ask someone.
Yeah. I mean, there's someone in your office that would know.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good thing about our office is we can always go to one another and we always ask questions. I mean, I've asked you questions all the time.
Yeah. I've
called other agents in the office. Hey, what's your opinion on this? What do you think of this? How would you describe this? I mean, we just did it on our listing now. The original drawings say 4 bedrooms, but technically there's not a closet in one of them. There's a sink and built-in cupboards. But on the original floor plan, it said bedroom 1, 2, 3, primary bedroom in the studio in the loft area. So we mark it down as 4 plus 2, right? So you've got 4, but even though it's not designed as a bedroom, it's marked as a bedroom, wouldn't be that hard to add a closet to it. But then even in there, I mean, I asked 3 people, what's your opinion? What's your opinion? What's your opinion on that? Just so that I know that I'm not giving out fictitious information.
Yeah.
Right.
You're trying to be as accurate as you can.
Right. And then even when we have the tour, I have people come through and I say, hey, you know what? Now you've seen it. What's your opinion? Right. Because you can still correct it once it's on the MLS.
Yeah.
You can still go back and correct it. It's not, hey, I made a mistake. Well, it is that you made a mistake, but just go back and fix it.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not that. And
no harm in that.
Yeah. And I find that that's, we heard an agent in the office that this is it's a minor pet peeve, but it's a big infraction, is taking the photos from a previous listing, taking the write-up from a previous listing and just going cut and paste and going clunk. I'll take this photo, that photo, that photo, that photo. There we go. I'm done. I was just like blown away.
Yep.
That was one of those things that's like, that's not a pet peeve. That's just infuriatingly lazy.
Absolutely.
Right. So you get paid well to do your job well.
Yep. I agree with that.
Right. So are we out of beer?
No,
we're not out of beer.
We still got some. we still have a couple more. I just didn't want to make sure that we weren't boring people.
Yeah, no, our little pet peeves have gone on for about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
So we're actually, I think we're almost out of time.
I think we're good.
But as we wrap up here, I think you need to share your little story about the name of a beer that you wanted to come up with, because that was.
No, I don't want to do that. I want to keep that because I think that it could be a very marketable business. So I don't want to let that out the bag.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, then that's a real cliffhanger, isn't it?
Yeah.
Boy, we just sucked everybody into the.
That may come out in the next couple months. Maybe you're gonna have to do some copywriting, and
that was pretty clever though.
I think so.
That was pretty clever. All right, I'm going to have the music take us out here today. Thank you for your time today, Paul. This was great.
Absolutely, man.
I love discussing the pet peeves and having a few beers.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun. I hope I hit the right music in the background. I really do. Yeah. Sounds like the right music. So thank you for tuning in to the Bricks and Banter podcast. Thank you to Paul Rayment. Give us a like. Go on to all your social medias there, Spotify, Apple, Google Play. Listen to catch the podcast. And send us any comments you have from today's episode. We'd love to hear your opinions on that. So, Mr. Rayment.
Scott, thank you.
Thank you for your time.